아이에 점프했는데 아이를 쫙 넣어주고
Yeah, delicious. We have royalty with us. Princess Peach is here. Stroller parking will be under the blue awnings across from the line. Of course. Enjoy. Welcome to the world famous Universal Studio Tour. Hi, welcome to the tour. What's that? 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah, it just depends on the traffic back there. You're welcome. Hi, welcome. Welcome to the world famous Universal Studio Tour.
Drive. Say hi to Lucas. Hi, Lucas. I've got somebody who's going to give our tour a quick introduction. Former cast member of Saturday Night Live, who now hosts The Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, hey there. You made it. Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience with us. You've got the very best guide.
His name's Paul.
And the greatest driver.
His name's Lucas.
They're the best. I love that. Even though
Tour guide Paul.
owes me $5. I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
We do have some safety rules as we're taking around our movie studio. If at any time during the tour you need immediate assistance, you have a medical emergency, you've accidentally dropped something important off the side of the tram, maybe you're experiencing sound issues or video issues in the car that you're in, we've got an emergency cord for that. That red cord going down the center of the tram ceiling. For any emergency, pull down on the cord and have a seat. And when it's safe to do it, we'll stop. I'll come back, I'll see what you need help with. Otherwise, throughout the entire tour, please remain seated and keep your arms and legs inside the tram. We're gonna be riding around private property. Don't jump off the tram for any reason. Pull the cord for an emergency. Please, no smoking on the tour. That includes vaping. We want you to take pictures and videos, have your phones ready, have your cameras ready, but there's gonna be some sudden tram movements. So hold on during the tour, secure your belongings so they don't fall off the side. There's going to be loud noises, fire effects, water effects. You might get a little bit wet. And because you're sitting very close to a lot of people, many strangers, please don't use selfie sticks on the tram. Don't put your phone on a pole and swing it around. So that's it for the safety rules. We are building a roller coaster on the left side of the tram. That's Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. That opens tomorrow. And there's going to be a lot of overtime. That's not going to be ready next year. Next year, that opens up. It's going to take us about 45 minutes to drive around the studio today. The lot covers about 400 acres. We're going to be driving by our movie sets and our sound stages. We're going to encounter some special effects along the way. The first sound stage we're going to be driving by is number 12, which is coming up on the corner of the left side of the tram. It's now the oldest soundstage we have here. Built in 1928, it's the stage where we filmed Frankenstein. The inside of the laboratory where Frankenstein built the monster was in stage 12. Lucy. Ted is a talking bear. He's been in 2 hit Universal films, Ted and Ted 2, and he's also got a television show that films on the lot. And later on during the tour, we're going to be driving right through some of the sets that they used for the show. They just finished shooting the 2nd season, so new episodes are coming soon to Peacock. These bungalows on the left, these are the offices for the directors and the producers and the writers. Kevin Williamson wrote the horror movie Scream. He produces all the Scream films. He's got this first office behind the white fence, Outer Banks Productions. Mark Platt produced Universal's biggest hit last year, Wicked. And Wicked Part 2, Wicked for Good, that comes out next month. If you look down the driveway, on the left side of the tram, at the end of the driveway, there's an office with an MP sign and a Wicked balloon. That's the producer's office. Alfred Hitchcock, who directed films like Psycho, The Birds, and Vertigo, he used to work out of Bungalow 5195. Just under the bushes there, painted on the wall, there's a circle, and that's a profile of Alfred Hitchcock. Hitchcock designed his own logo, and that's still on the wall of his old office in tribute. And then the final office on the left side of the tram, this big glass building, is where they write and produce St. Denis Medical. All of season 1 is streaming on Peacock right now, and they're currently filming season 2 inside the soundstage right behind the office. So we're gonna make a left-hand turn. We're gonna be driving by stage 26. The show takes place in a hospital, and all the scenes inside the hospital film inside stage 26.
Welcome to St. Denis Medical Center.
St. Denis Regional Medical.
I have access to some really good stuff, and I will hook you up.
Yeah.
No, man. That was a test.
We're like the Avengers, you know?
We're not supposed to have favorite patients, but we do.
I almost don't want him to get better.
Pale, kind of blotchy.
It's the other one.
Oh my God, that's much worse. Wow.
The exterior of the hospital for St. Denis Medical is on the other side of the tram. It's over on the right, this big glass and brick building. We just crossed the border of our studio. We had been driving past offices and sound stages of the front lot. For the rest of the tour, we drive through the back lot where we have all the sets that are too big to go inside the stages. The area that we're traveling through now is called New York Street, but it's not limited to be New York. It can be dressed up to be different cities and different states, and Jimmy Fallon can tell you a little bit more.
Hey everyone, welcome to New York. I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. Once got mugged over there by an old woman, tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey, I'm walking here. Hey, it's cool guys. I was just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
Now, like Jimmy Fallon, throughout the course of the back lot, I'll be bringing up some celebrities on the monitors. They'll tell you about some of the areas we're going to be driving through. My next celebrity is an Academy Award winner.
In Skull Island, allowing the visitors a little sneak peek at some of the wildlife of Skull Island. In a sense, this is like a mini sequel, a mini continuation. We are just taking the Kong and Skull Island and the dinosaurs that we established in our feature film, and this is another day, another incident on Skull Island, using the creatures and the character and personality of Kong as he appeared in the movie. It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker.
Action!
I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up with adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. How come I play?
He saved us. Yay! Thanks, King Kong. That was nice. When we leave the building, you can take off the 3D glasses that some of you have been wearing for the whole tour. Don't lose the glasses. If you can avoid it, try not to drop them off the tram. That's going to be the only special effect on the tour in 3D. But we do collect the glasses at the end of the trip for recycling. Peter Jackson, the director of King Kong, helped design this special effect with the Academy Award-winning special effects company of Weta Effects. They're based out in New Zealand. We're about to drive by base camp for St. Denis Medical. Base camp over on the left side of the tram is where they've got all the trailers for the stars, like David Alan Grier, Wendy McClendon Covey, Allison Tolman. On the left side of the tram, there's a couple trailers for their wardrobe and their makeup. The first time we were driving through New York Street, Jimmy Fallon came up on the monitors. He told you a little bit about the sets. I'll tell you about some of the things that have been filming out here recently. We've been working on a new show called Stuart Fails to Save the Universe, which is a spin-off of The Big Bang Theory. So Kevin Sussman, who plays Stuart on the show, he's got his own show, and they've been filming down at the end of the street on the left side of the tram. There's an area back there called Courthouse Square, and that's the set they've been using. The TV show Ted films out here, using New York Street as Boston. The television show is a prequel to the two films, takes place in the 1990s, and we'd also been using this part of our backlot as Los Angeles for Bel Air. If you're a big fan of those old black and white 1930s and 40s monster movies, there's a monster mural on the right side of the tram with a lot of those classic characters. On the tour, we're going to be driving through all the sets where those monster movies were made. And there's some stages off to the left side of the tram, 30 and 31, where we film The Voice. And The Voice was just here last week working on its 28th season. So the show has been filming here for quite some time. They removed the wall in between the stages that separates them. So they turned that into one big stage for the show. And our 4 voice coaches for this season are Niall Horan, Michael Bublé, Reba McEntire, and Snoop Dogg.
Hey there, Studio Tour. I'm Snoop Dogg from The Voice. We tape our show right here in stage 30 and 31 in the heart of the Universal backlot. These state-of-the-art sound stages allow us to bring every round of our show to life, from the blind auditions to the live finale, and everything in between.
Make some noise! We know what America wants. Reba sucks, baby! Yo, now, you should see the underwear I'm wearing.
Reba McEntire, who's one of the voice coaches this season, also films her comedy series Happy's Place on the lot for NBC. And that films inside the sound stages right next to The Voice in 32 and 33. And in between the road that we're on right now and those sound stages, there's this pond, this body of water with a fountain in the middle of it. This was used in a classic Universal horror movie that came out in 1954. The film was released in 3D, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. This was the Black Lagoon. And up on the monitors, I'm going to show you a quick scene from the movie that filmed out here on the backlot. That's our backlot right there. The movie starred Julie Adams and Rico Browning. That's Rico Browning right there. He played the creature from the film. Now, Universal's first horror movie filmed on the lot in 1923. We had built some sets on the lot for the original silent version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame with Lon Chaney. Later, those same sets were used for Frankenstein, The Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula, The Wolfman, the Invisible talking over the speakers. The second thing the flags do, they make us temporarily stop the tram. So you don't see one of our trams driving by in the background of the shot. When the director calls cut, they lower the flags and we continue on with the tour. So there's a lot of times when they're filming on the back lot, we're able to drive right next to where they're shooting. Most of the sets that we're going to be driving by on the tour today aren't even full buildings, they're facades. They're just outer shells. So they build the fronts of the sets, they build the sides of the sets, and they're basically empty. on the inside. So if you're watching a movie or a TV show and a character walks through the front door of one of these buildings, once they step inside the set, they don't do the interior scenes inside. They go inside of a sound stage and they shoot the interior scenes inside of our stages. For 4 years, this part of our backlot was used for our comedy series, The Good Place, with Kristen Bell and Ted Danson.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead. Come on. This location, the afterlife, come on. I have never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here.
I'm gonna pause this for a second. There's a set right in front of the tram that we're passing by. It's got 2 blue doors and red trim around the windows. This is where they filmed this.
I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
Now the sets that we used for 4 years for that comedy series are the same sets that we used for Frankenstein and The Bride of Frankenstein and Dracula. Whenever there'd be a scene with a big mob of angry villagers and they've got torches and they're marching through the village hunting down monsters, that filmed out there in Little Europe.
What is it now? The monster. He's in the woods. Get out the bloodhounds. Raise all the men you can, lock the women indoors, and wait for me. Are you ready? Take your torches and
Why don't you shoot me?
Now, right next to some of the sets that were built in 1923 for The Hunchback of Notre Dame, there's a modern house on the left side of the tram, which kind of looks out of place. Nobody tram, ticket machine heist. Unlike when they're filming on the back lot, when they're ready to shoot inside the stage, they're not going to allow us to drive the tram through anymore. So this is a good opportunity for you to get some pictures of the set before it's closed off to the public. There's a track on the left side of the tram that runs the whole length of the stage. They built a subway train that they can roll back. Hang on, it's an earthquake. Everything goes back to the original condition, and that's an example of practical special effects. Unlike CGI, unlike the digital effects, practical effects are set up to be filmed live, and they don't necessarily have computer effects. That's been part of the tour for 36 years. That opened back in 1989. They had based it on the film Earthquake, which was released back in 1974. Now that you've just seen an earthquake, we have to calm you down. We got to take you to a peaceful part of our backlot. So we're going to go up the hill to a little island called Amity. Amity is a word that means friendship. there's a billboard. We're going to pass by on the left side of the tram. Amity Island welcomes you, but we had to close Amity Beach because of the shark attacks. We caught a shark, and it's hanging on display in front of the hotel. Even though we caught the shark, they don't want us to reopen the beach because there's another one. There's a bigger shark on the other side of the water, and we haven't captured that one. That's a big shark. That's coming towards us. Oh, hey! Hey, the beach is closed! There's a shark! Get out of the water! You all right? Oh. The shark ate him. Yay! This is a really old dock we're driving across. Everybody please remain seated. The shark just took the dock. It's right next to us. That's why my seat has a window. It's not fair, but it's a perk. We were just attacked by Jaws, a movie that just turned 50 years old this year. That came out in June of 1975, directed by Steven Spielberg. But that's not the mechanical shark that Steven Spielberg used in the movie. Our shark works better than his. When they were filming Jaws, they built several full-size mechanical sharks. None of them would work. They kept breaking, they kept malfunctioning. Most of the time in the movie, the only thing you see of the shark is the fin come out of the water. They put the back of the shark in a fin, and they used the special effect that we just used in front of the scuba diver. It was on a pole. They just moved the pole around. There are very few shots in Jaws where you see the full-size mechanical shark because they just didn't work. The movie went way over budget. It took a lot longer to film than it was supposed to. It cost a lot more to film than it was supposed to, all because of the sharks. But the movie made its money back. In 1975, that became the highest grossing movie of all time. We're going to stop for a minute in this set to demonstrate some very simple weather effects. We're flashing strobe lights on the left side of the tram because on film, that's going to look like lightning. And hidden in the trees, there are sprinklers. We're going to turn on the sprinklers, that's going to create rain. This is how easy it is to make a storm whenever we need it on a movie set. But the problem with this special effect, we do it all day. So every time a tram stops here, it rains, and the water we use is recycled, but the set is built on a hill. So over the course of the day, a lot of water builds at the top of the hill, and at one point it overflows. All the water rushes down, and it creates a flood. There's been a couple times the flood has hit one of the trams as we're driving through. This afternoon, we are that tram. Be careful if you're sitting on the left side, there's a flood coming. Now look up at one of the monitors, and this is the same special effect in a scene from the film Big Fat Liar. The Paramount film Nacho Libre with Jack Black also filmed out in this little village. And then when we leave the village, we cross the border into the Old West. A part of our backlot, a small town where we made movies with cowboys like John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, Kirk Douglas, and Clint Eastwood.
You're just gonna start things up here. That I am.
first. Mine was taller.
This is a pretty historic part of the backlot that we're in right now. The company started in 1912. Carl Laemmle founded Universal Pictures in New York. The company moved to California in 1915. 110 years ago, these are some of the first sets that were built on the lot. They were constructed for silent movies. These sets are still used. Quentin Tarantino filmed Once Upon a Time in Hollywood out here. Sony Film with Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, Margot Robbie. In the film, Leonardo DiCaprio's character is an actor, and he's guest starring on a Western television show. So they shot all the Western scenes out here in the backlot, but when they were filming and our trams were driving by, we weren't allowed to say what it was. We couldn't say it starred Brad Pitt or Leonardo DiCaprio. We couldn't say it was being directed by Quentin Tarantino. All we could say was, they're doing a top secret production out on our backlot today. Quentin Tarantino wanted it to be a secret. And this happens sometimes when they film things on the lot to avoid us accidentally pointing out spoilers. They have us keep some things under wraps. Steven Spielberg does the same thing. Whenever he's directing a movie on the lot, we're not allowed to talk about it until the film is ready to be released. Steven Spielberg actually had a lot to do with the Jaws attraction being built for the tour. Back in 1976, a year after the movie opened, they called Steven Spielberg in to be a consultant to build this attraction. So we're passing by again, and I'm going to let Steven Spielberg tell you more about it.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited to create a circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the tram.
There's a house over on the right side of the tram. This is another practical set. The house was built for the musical The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas with Burt Reynolds and Dolly Parton. And we have a whole neighborhood on our backlot of houses. Colonial Street off to the left side of the tram, which we've recently been using for a new series called The Burbs. It stars Keke Palmer, and it's going to be on Peacock. And The Burbs is loosely based on the 1989 movie that starred Tom Hanks, which also filmed on that street. Casper with Christina Ricci filmed in that part of the backlot. A lot of music videos and commercials. It was Wisteria Lane on the ABC Touchstone series Desperate Housewives. Back in the 70s, that's the street where all the frat houses were in our hit Animal House. We're going to be driving through 3 more movie sets back to back, and then we head back to the theme park, so we only have a few minutes left of the tour. We're almost home, but we're still riding around private property. So one final reminder, if you have any emergency before the tour is over, pull down on that red cord above you and have a seat so we can stop the tram. I'll see what you need help with. We use this part of the backlot at night every Wednesday through Sunday for Halloween Horror Nights. This area becomes the Terror Tram. It's called Enter the Blumhouse. And you get off the tram at night and you walk around the area and you're attacked by characters from the scary Blumhouse films like Megan, the Grabber from Black Phone, Babyface from Happy Death Day, and The Purge. And although they're not doing Halloween Horror Nights today, some of those characters are still hanging out in this area right in front of our official scale model of the Hollywood sign right in front of the tram. So you can get some pictures as we're driving by. They built the sets for Halloween Horror Nights right in front of the Bates Motel and the house that was used in Psycho. The Bates Motel is run by Norman Bates, who lives in the house at the top of the hill behind the motel. We're going to drive right by his house.
We all go on a mad sometimes.
Norman doesn't like when trams drive by his house, and he gets pretty angry. Psycho was directed by Alfred Hitchcock, the master of suspense, starring Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates, and Janet Leigh as Marion Crane. Right behind the Psycho House, an airplane crashed and destroyed a whole neighborhood. But Norman Bates didn't have anything to do with this. Aliens are responsible. This is all a set that was built for Paramount's War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision that Steven had.
When we first began to sit down to talk about the War of the Worlds, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Down closed. Bobby, get in. Get in.
That's the road that we're on right now. Now, although the houses on the right side of the tram are facades, the airplane is not. That's not just a set that they built to make it look like a plane. That was a real plane. And when they're making the movie, they got a full 747 and they did that to it. That was somebody's job on the set of War of the Worlds to rip an airplane apart. And then the sets that we have right in front of the airplane, off to the left side of the tram, that's also part of our Halloween Horror Nights. The last movie set that we're going to be driving through on the tour is another little western town, and it's called Jupiter's Claim. And the town was built for the suspense film Nope. It was written and directed by Jordan Peele. Up ahead in a moment, we're going to stop in the middle of the set for a moment. We're going to give you time to get some pictures of the set. And to introduce it, I have the film's writer and director, Jordan Peele, and Keke Palmer, who's currently starring in one of the television shows on the lot, The Burbs.
What's up, Studio Tour? I'm Keke Palmer from Jordan Peele's film, Nope. What's a bad miracle? Well, you'll have to see our movie to answer that one. Until then, I hope you enjoy your visit to Jupiter's Claim.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Jupe Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Sheriff. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Well, I do. A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of Europe. What's it called? Welcome to the world of Nope.
A science fiction film that used a lot of CGI, a lot of computer effects. So while they're making the movie, behind the sets, they constructed big green screens and big blue screens, and later the computer effects could be added to where the screens were placed. Behind the Jupiter's Claim set on the right is a big blue backdrop. That's also used for shooting special effects sequences. In front of the backdrop, behind the white trucks, there's a big pit that's empty right now, but if we're doing a scene in a movie or a television show, somebody's in the ocean, a lake, a swamp, we can film those out on the back lot. You can look up on the monitors here. That was the swamp in 1960 where Norman Bates disposed of the bodies. The backdrop was built here in 1987 to to create the look of the Bahamas in Jaws: Revenge. I'm going to pause this for a second right there. In that shot, we're painted on that backdrop because in 1987 they weren't really using a lot of computer effects yet. Sam Neill bought a dinosaur out there in Jurassic Park 3. They blew up a miniature house in front of the blue screen in Hope and used it for the finale of Apollo 13 where the space capsule was landing in the ocean. That all filmed on the backlot. Now we're going back to the theme park, and you can continue your movie making experience by going on rides that are based on hit movies and shows. We have the Simpsons ride, Transformers ride, Jurassic World, The Secret Life of Pets Off the Leash, and next year we open Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift, our new roller coaster. Also in the theme park, Waterworld, a live SeaWorld spectacular, which is a stunt show, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and Super Nintendo World. If you haven't done it yet, while you're in the park, we do recommend that you download the Universal Studios Hollywood app. That's going to give you information on today's park hours, wait times for the rides, show times for Waterworld. We also have mobile food ordering on the app as well. If you want to purchase any of the NBC Universal movies or shows I've been talking about throughout the trip, you can visit this website up on the monitors, uphe.com, which is for Universal Pictures Home Entertainment. You can find out about any of the titles that are scrolling up on the monitors. You can also ask at any of our retail stores. As we're heading back, I want to take a moment to thank our annual pass holders for coming back and joining us again today. If you're not a pass holder and you'd like to be one, you stop by the Universal box office, find out how you can upgrade today's ticket into an annual pass. It allows you to come back and join us again and again. Take a look around, make sure that you have all of your personal belongings with you. We don't want you to leave anything important behind. A lot of times in Earthquake and King Kong, our tram shakes around a lot, things fall out of people's pockets. They leave their cell phones behind or their keys. So look in between the seat cushions, look under the seats, make sure you don't leave anything important. We do recycle the 3D glasses that we handed out for King Kong. When we get into the unloading area, we're going to open up the gates on the left. There will be bins right next to the tram with pictures of the 3D glasses. Just drop the glasses on one of those as you pass by. On behalf of our driver Lucas and myself Paul, and all of us here at Universal Studios Hollywood, we hope you enjoyed the trip around the studio and got some good pictures. We're going to stay open tonight until 6 o'clock. And as they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap. Thanks for taking the tour, everybody. Have a good time. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Either forgot or just like was like, you know.